Okay boys, today we're going over the different types of Deepwoken players. Number 1, we got the noob. Alright guys, so the noob is honestly pretty self-explanatory. With the recent peak of Deepwoken's new players, the noob is honestly completely new to the game. Who would have thought? They either saw their favorite YouTuber playing the game for the first time or honestly just scrolled upon it on TikTok. Usually most of the time, the gameplay or the video they saw that actually got them intrigued to play the game in the first place is completely different from the first experience of them actually playing it. Now I could go on and on about the noob, but most of the time these guys will buy the game and realize it's actually a lot harder than they thought. Ultimately ended up quitting the game and losing their 450 Robux. And real quick boys, last video I said whoever wants the curb blade wins to comment the word curb blade wins, and here is our winner. So boys, we'll go ahead and give him the curb blade of the wins real quick on my bank slot. Here we go, 2-star curb blade of the wins. Okay, and here you go. This is what you get for leaving a like, subscribing, and a comment on why you deserve the item. Enjoy the weapon, bro. Alright boys, if you guys want a free 2-star storm sight, make sure you're subscribed, leave a comment and a like on the video, and tell me why you want it. Also leave your username because so I can actually find you. And yeah, enjoy the video. Next up, we got the Simp. Now these type of Deepwoken players are honestly really tricky because you don't know you're playing with the Simp until a female, or at least you think it's a female, joins the Discord VC. A good way to point out this type of Deepwoken player is, once the girl joins the VC, listen to the amount of decibels that his voice drops once he starts talking. The Simp will go out of his way to get everything that this girl wants in the entire game and will become a bodyguard slash guide, literally teaching her the entire game just for her to get off the game and get piked by her boyfriend. Next up, we got the runner. Now I personally don't mind the runner, but it does get kind of annoying when I do Voidwalker bounties. But the runner bought a 450 Robux Roblox game just not to play it correctly. The majority of this game is literally revolved around PvP. Why are you running away and not fighting like Aaron from Attack on Titan? Typical, bro. Next up, we got the Metamancer. Now I'm not going to be biased or anything against the Metamancer, but these type of players honestly suck. I literally used to consider these players the Kakashi of Deepwoken, because if you use a fire build around them, just expect them to have the build made in a 12-hour time span, or aka when they get out of school. The Metamancer will literally make builds that they see everybody else using and claim they were the first one to have it. Like bro, nobody's believing you. We know you got that from a no-go video. Alright boys, next up on the list we got the Chim Player, aka no-go. Now the Chim Player, I don't really have anything against these type of people, but typically they spend 14 to 24 hours a day in Chima conflict. Most of the time the Chim Player and the Metamancer goes hand in hand, because if you play Chima conflict, these players never see an original build. The Chim Player is usually fighting an exact copy of the 10 previous players he fought, and these type of players will value their elo over their actual in real life health. Whenever you call the Chim Player out on why they play Chima conflict so much instead of the actual game, they'll just say it's simply fun. Usually the Chim players that aren't YouTubers have no ambitions and life goals outside the game, so I say we just let them be happy. Next up on the list, a fan favorite of many, the Freshy Ganger. Now usually the Freshy Ganger is made after the Chim player realizes they're not actually good at the game, so in retaliation they just gank fresh spawns or people that are lower power level than them. The Freshy Ganger will usually camp at the spawn areas or like the spawn towns, or just catch your ass slacking when you go into Trial of 1 at Metamancer. But one thing the Freshy Gangers always have in common is, once they grip you on your fresh spawn and you try to spin back, usually they are nowhere to be found. Next up on this list we got the Mage. Now these guys will go on YouTube and find the most toxic Mage builds you guys have ever seen, most of the time using a hero blade, whether it be Flame, whether it be Gale, but the majority of these mages honestly use Ice, the most annoying attunement. Now I consider these type of players to be the most annoying type of players on the entire list, because why are you doing that? But one thing these players always have in common is, they don't know how to press the F key, so to counter them, simply just get up close. Alright boys, now we got the Ganker. Now you obviously know where to find these type of players, but these are the biggest assholes on the entire list. These guys will let you make an entire build and spend hours upon hours of your life making it, just to see you having fun and being happy and grip you. These type of players consist of having no father figure, no people that actually love them outside the game, and they find joy in ruining other people's days. Most of the time when you call out the Ganker on why they actually partake in these vile acts, they'll just say, oh, it's just a game, bro. We all hate the Ganker. Alright boys, now we got my favorite, the PvEer. These guys are the biggest chads of the entire Deepwoken community. Because when you really think about it, these guys are honestly the coolest. They said, you know what? I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to PvP. I just want to play the game as if it's Minecraft. And in my opinion, that is honestly pretty cool. Now the PvEer usually knows everything about the entire game, but the PvEer usually falls into the category of being the runner. This is because they don't actually like doing PvP, and they find enjoyment in just doing PvE, which I actually think that's pretty damn cool. Most of the time the PvEer outside the game are really chill people, such as Zookle, we got Skipper Gripper, and Rom. But honestly boys, if you guys meet a PvEer and you guys fall into this category, I mess with you, bro. You invited to the cookout. Next up on this list, we got the build carry. Now this one is honestly pretty self-explanatory, so instead of me giving a whole rundown of the type of people the build carries are, I'm just gonna name some of the other categories we went over. So the build carry usually consists of the Chim Player, the Metamancer, the Mage, and Supa. Next up we got the Boosted. These guys literally bought the game to not learn how to play it, so instead they get people that didn't learn how to play the game, aka the PvEers, to boost them. These people usually can never play the game by themselves because they don't know how to actually do anything when the wiki is literally available for free. In my opinion, the Boosted are honestly a bunch of losers, because why are you making max level builds just to not know how to play the game? But yeah, the Boosted are honestly a bunch of losers, and I think they should just finally quit the game like they said the past 5 times. Next up we got the Perma Freshy. Now the Perma Freshy has been playing the game for a long time, probably since verse 1, but they still remain to be bad. They don't fall into any category because they suck at everything else on this list. But one thing the Perma Freshies all have in common is they're just having fun. And there's nothing wrong with having fun, so if you're a Perma Freshy, it's okay bro. You won't get better, but you're having fun, so I respect that. Next up we got the Femboy. Do I want to do this one? I think I'll get canceled if I do this one, I ain't gonna lie. Now the Femboy usually cross-dresses on the game, no reason in particular, but if you ask them their sexuality, most of the time they'll just say they're straight, when in reality they're just closeted. Now once again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being gay, but the Femboy usually wears thigh-high stockings, a mini skirt, and cat ears. You'll find them in the Deepwoken Player General Discord server, more specifically the VCs making meow noises in the calls. And most of these people usually have something in common, with that being a blue name. But one thing the Femboys really do have in common is they are really easily triggered, and they like to argue on discord.com. Most of these people have a hive mind, so if they hear someone say something, they'll most likely go with it. But me personally, my biggest Femboy that I love very much to the end of time is Supa. Next up on this list, we got the Troll. Now the Troll most likely always has the mantras Champions World Throw, or even more popular Strong Left in their inventory. But these guys like to troll the most in the depths. So if you're walking along the cliff to avoid, they're gonna feint Strong Left just to think it's funny. And when you ask them why they did that, they'll respond with, "Chill bro, I was just joking." Be careful walking with the troll along a cliff, because they will also like to press the G key to just knock you off. And if you're healing at a campfire with a big group of people, the troll will like to use a one specific mantra for no exact reason just to hit everybody. And when you complain to the troll on why they do the things they do, they always say it's not that serious.